Okay, so thank you for clicking on this video. I'm Johnny Hazel and this channel is dedicated to all things powerlifting and strength training. So I'm sorry to my subscribers, I've disappeared for about 2 weeks. I've been just super busy with work and managing the gym and personal training and coaching, and I had my vaccination for COVID, so that took a couple of days to recover from. So anyway, let's get started. Today I have chosen to review a GZCLP program. Okay, I had a few people message me, a couple of comments about people wanting me to review one of these programs. There are quite a few variations out there, quite a few spreadsheets. Now this is one that I've found and I really like, and it's got the option of doing a 3 or 4 day. Okay, so I think this is a good program. It's well designed. And it's a program I would use, so that's why I've chosen it. So let's get started. Now for today I'm just going to review the 4 day, not the 3 day. So that's just something I want to state straight away. Now I personally believe the 4 day is better than the 3 day program, so my advice would be to do the 4 day. It's not a big ask. Right, this is where we start. First thing you must do is state your gender. Okay, so I'm not going to give you a biology lesson, you should know that. Next thing is 3 or 4 day. Kg or pounds. Okay, then you need to check whether you have microplates or not. Now microplates would be the 0.25 kilograms, 0.5 kilograms, really small plates. I don't have them, not many people do. Make sure that you weigh the bar before you begin this program, because that's important, that you know how heavy the bar is. It's either normally 15 or 20 kilograms. Okay, now this section here, I would leave it at the default, but let's talk about the modified. If you choose modified, now this is the as many reps as possible weight increases. So on those final sets, you see the plus symbols here, that implies as many reps as possible on the final set. Now if you do anywhere from 3 to 4 reps, you do a 10 kilogram increase on the squat, 5 on the overhead, 5 on the bench, and 10 on the deadlift. Okay, and these are preset. This is the default increment that the person who created this spreadsheet has selected. But if you were to do from 5 to 7, you can actually increase that increment, because technically you can lift more, because you shouldn't really be doing 5 to 7 reps. It's too light, you can do more. So you might want to change that to 15. Let's say 12.5. And then if you do anywhere from 8 to 10, you can make a 15 kilogram increment between training sessions. So if you achieved the base volume, okay, so in this instance it would be 15 reps, and you did achieve more than that, then the next session you do 5 sets of 3 again, but this time it will be 15 kilograms heavier. So that's how you use that. Now my advice would be, when you first run this program, to not use this, okay, and just stick with the default. That means that it's just this fixed increment, that whether you do 4, whether you do 7, whether you do 10, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be 10 kilograms increment each training session when you achieve the base volume, and you do as many reps as possible in the final set. So anyway, let's start reviewing this section first here. Okay, so this is the lift section. This is when you choose what exercises you want to do. So now everything in yellow is what they call tier 1, everything in green is tier 2, everything in blue is tier 3. Now tier 1 is your competition lifts, the heavy compound lifts. Tier 2 is your variation of the compound lift, the competition lifts and accessory lifts. And tier 3 is your isolation hypertrophy style training, the least important out of them all. So let's say for this one you want to do a bench variation. So we've got 2 good options here, close grip or the pause. I would choose the close grip. I think it's a great variation, and considering we're going to be doing 3 sets 10, 3 sets of 8 and 3 sets of 6, so higher volume, lower intensity, this is a great exercise. The third exercise in the tier 2, so the tier 2B exercise, that should complement your tier 1 exercise. It should work alongside that. So in this case, the optimal one is the front squat. That's the best one to choose. So that's what you need to do here. Now for the tier 3 exercises day 1, what I would recommend is to do some leg work. Okay, so do some hypertrophy for the legs. There's a lot of exercise to choose from in the drop down menu. You're definitely not spoiled for choice. Now I didn't pre-select any, I'm just going to go off random here. Okay, and then what I would do is I'd finish it with a bicep exercise. Okay, so that's day 1 sorted. Let's look at day 2. So day 2, we're overhead pressing, and we're doing the deadlift as the tier 2A exercise. Now, they don't have any deadlift variations here, but they do give you 3 customized options where you can include an exercise that you want to do. So my advice would be for this one is to do a variation on the deadlift. So potentially, because you're doing 3 sets 10, 3 sets 8, 3 sets 6, I would say a good variation could be a snatch grip deadlift, okay, a deficit deadlift, trap bar deadlift, or even off the top of my head, you might want to do a pause deadlift, about mid shin for about 2-3 seconds. So let's just say I'm going to keep it a deadlift for now, but I would advise going to the sheet and customizing that and including a deadlift variation. Okay, the next thing you need to do, as I said before, for tier 2B exercises, choose one that complements your tier 1 exercise. So in this case, I'm going to choose the incline bench press, and I would use a barbell for that. So tier 3, we're doing shoulders, delts training this day. So let's choose some shoulder exercises. My advice would be definitely the side lateral raises, dumbbell side laterals, and then you would possibly want to look if they've got anything for the rear delt flies. I'm not going to go through all of this right now today, but let me just choose one additional one just to prove that it's here somewhere. I don't actually think you can see the drop down menu on this video screen, but there is a drop down menu, and this is driving me crazy because I can't find anything. Okay, let's say just leave it at that for now. Okay, so on this day you want to do stuff for your shoulders. So a good one would be a dumbbell shoulder press. Actually, I'm going to find that because that's pretty good exercise, and I want to talk about that in a minute. So as you can see, there's a pretty extensive list of exercises. You'll see that when you click on it and you see the drop down menu. Seated dumbbell press. So there we go. Okay, so let's move on to day 3. Day 3, we've got the bench, we've got the squat, and then we got an option to do another tier 2 exercise. So for the squat, I'd keep it at the squat, the back squat, and then you want to complement the bench. Here, you might want to do, this time, the pause bench press, because you did the close grip on Monday. So let's do a pause this time. And again, for the tier 3 exercises, I would choose chest-based exercises. So hypertrophy for the chest. So we could do some chest-focused weighted dips. We could do some sort of flies, cable flies or dumbbell flies. That would be a great chest exercise for strengthening the pecs. But I bet you I will not find it in this list. Could be better organized, this list, to be honest. It wasn't very well designed. But yeah, just go through the list and try to find some chest-based exercises that you really like and you're comfortable doing, and you know you can do for 3 sets of 15 to 25 or 4 sets of 12 to 18 reps. So let's just put that in there. And on this day, for the final tier exercise, I think you should throw in a tricep-based exercise, isolation-based exercise. So tricep extension, skull crushers, or maybe the push downs, but let's just use tricep extension for now. The final day, day 4, is your deadlift day. Okay, for the second exercise, you would probably want to throw in some pendlay rows, some barbell rows, and then, oh, hang on one sec. Let's undo that. So we keep it at the overhead press. Sorry, I meant for this exercise, for the second tier 2 exercise. You want to do some pendlay rows, and for the tier 3 exercises, do some back exercises. Find some stuff to blast your lats. So there's got to be close grip pull down. Some good options here for the back. What else have we got? We've got some good exercises here. We've got lat pull downs already, so we don't want to do that again. We could do some pullovers, dumbbell pullovers, for example, and whatever else tickles your fancy, whatever you like in that drop-down list. So once we've done that, you then now need to put in your starting weight. Okay, so here you will have to manually enter this. I cannot find anywhere on the spreadsheet an actual calculator where it will do it for you. But he does say in this section right here that basically you have to do, for the tier 1 exercise, find your 5 rep max and then do 85% of that. So let's say my 5 rep max for the squat was 200 kilograms, and I would take 85% of that. So it's 170 kilograms. So it's a pretty rounded number. That's my starting weight for day 1, week 1. For the close grip, you're looking over here. You're going to do something for 3 sets of 10. Now let's talk about column 4 here, because we need to talk about that before we go any further. You have 2 options: the default, the traditional style of GZCL programming, or you got the modified version. So for the tier 1 exercise modified, you, instead of doing 5 sets of 3, you can do 3 sets of 5. Instead of doing 6 sets of 2, you can do 4 sets of 3. Instead of doing 10 sets of 1, you can do 5 sets of 2. The reason why is because that all equates and adds up to the same base volume. Okay, whether you do 5 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 5, you're still doing 15 reps as a base volume. Now, which one you want to choose is really down to you, but I think the default one is the better of the 2. So stick with that for the first time you run it. The second time you run it, try the modified one. So with the close grip, you've got 2 options. You've got 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 6, which is the traditional style of doing it. Or you've got a modified version where you can do less volume each set. So you've got 4 sets of 8, 4 sets of 6, 4 sets of 4. I would stick with the default when you first run this program. Now with the tier 3 exercises, you can either do 3 sets of 15 to 25 reps, or you could do 4 sets of 12 to 18 reps. My advice, run the default the first time round, especially considering the tier 3 exercises is hypertrophy based training. It's not that important. You're not training to do Mr. Olympia. You're training to become a powerlifter or a strength athlete. You do not want to focus on this too much. So doing 3 sets of 15 plus is a good rep scheme. Right, so we've sorted that out now. So let's go back to entering the starting weight. So for the close grip bench press, you're going to have to manually work this out. A weight that you can do for 3 sets of 10. So for example, let's just say, I don't know, I'm just guessing here. Let's just say 60 to be easy, keep it easy. And for the front squat, you can put in whatever you can do for 10 reps. So maybe just 80 kilograms. And then you need to enter for the tier 3 exercises as well. Your starting weight here, 60 kilograms for the leg extensions. Okay, and I'm going to say that I want to go up in increments of 5 for the leg extensions, and for the front squats, I want to go up in increments of 5 kilograms as well. And you can choose this increment based on what you think is best. However, if you were to do something like a bicep curl, be sensible. 2.5 kilogram increases make sense, okay, with a barbell if you're doing EZ bicep curls, or based on your dumbbells, what do they increase by in your gym. For the calf raises, let's just say I go up in increments of 10, I can do a little bit heavier, and for the step ups I can go up in increments of 5, and there we go. So you have to manually enter these increments, and that's really down to you personally, what you think makes sense and what works for you. But I must state right here that when you are entering the weight for a dumbbell-based exercise, you do not enter the total amount. So let's say, for example, I was doing 25 kilogram seated dumbbell presses. I would not put in 50, i.e. 25 times 2. I would put in just the weight of one dumbbell. Okay, that's something you need to bear in mind, and that would apply to the increment as well. So that's something you need to do and make sure that you get that right. Okay, so once you've done that for all of these exercises, don't rush it, don't skip it, don't just put in random numbers. Think about each exercise, plan in advance what you have in your gym, how much do the dumbbells increase by, what plates do you have, what do you think is the best. For smaller isolation-based exercises, you're going to make smaller increments. For more compound, multi-joint exercises, you would have a bigger increase. Especially stuff for the squat and deadlift based, you can do at least 10 kilogram increments. But for the bench-based exercises, pressing-based exercises, it would really be 5, maybe for the shoulder 2.5. So I'm done with that now. Finished with that. Let's get started on the program. I'm going to go straight to 4-day week 1. So here we go. This is where we're starting. All of this is garbage. I don't know why the hell this is even in here. I just ignore that, pretend it's not there. So we've got the weight for the squat here, 170 kilograms for 5 sets of 3. Final set, I'm going to chase as many reps as possible. Got 3 warm-up sets that you must do. That's not optional. And let's just put the weights in. Let's put how many reps I did. Okay, and let's say for that final set, I did 5 reps. So I did 2 more than I was meant to, 2 additional reps. Let's go to the close grip, and let's just stick with the tier 1 exercises at first. So now let's go to week 2 for the 4-day. Okay, and we can see that we're doing 5 sets of 3 again, but instead of 170, we're doing 180, so we've had 10 kilograms. But let's say this week I do not achieve the base volume, and I just get 1 rep on the final set. We would go to week 3, and you can see the weight has not increased. There's no increment. It's still 180, but this time we're doing 180 kilograms for 6 sets of 2, with the final set as many reps as possible. Let's say for this week, I achieved the base volume, okay, and I did manage to do 6 sets of 2, but no additional reps. Let's go to week 4 and see what happens. Okay, week 4, we've gone up by 10 kilograms, but we're still doing 6 sets of 2. So if you don't do as many reps as possible, any additional reps, you still get an increment each week as long as you do the base volume. However, let's say this week I do not achieve the base volume, I do no additional reps. We go to week 5 and we're at 10 sets of 1 and we're still doing 190 kilograms. We've got our warm-up routine. Now here's where the program's slightly messed up. We do not have the option for 10 sets here, do we? We only got 6. So you will have to put in the reps here, how many additional ones you did. In the gym, you'd write in your log what you did. But here you would if I did the base volume, let's say I did 10 reps. Okay, I didn't do any additional reps, but I did do 10 reps. I put in 6 right there. And that means when I go to week 6, it's gone up by 10 kilograms, 200 kilograms now. Still doing 10 sets of 1. But let's say this week I did not do the base volume. I did not do any additional reps. I just did 4. Okay, so I did a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reps. We go to week 7, we now retest because we've now finished all the rep schemes. This week you retest your squat. Now for the second squat session right here, day 3, you probably want to skip that and just focus on this the retesting your squat. And that applies for the front squat. Don't do that this week as well. So for this one, you don't write anything in here. You actually write it the next week, week 8, where it says weight here, you enter the weight. Now remember, you chased your new 5 rep max. What did we start with? 170. We're now, let's say I've added some weight onto it. Okay, let's say I did for 5 reps, I did 220 kilograms. Okay, what I would need to do is actually just do 85% of that. So 187, so let's just say 187.5. Boom. Now you can restart the program again. And the same principle applies until you finish the program on whatever week it is. Once you've finished it, you've done all the rep schemes, 5 sets of 3, 6 sets of 2, 10 sets of 1, and you're done. That's when you retest again, as it says here. Test for a 5 rep max again and restart the program. So all in all, it's pretty simple there. Not too difficult to understand that. Just got an alarm going. Let's stop the alarm. So now let's talk a little bit about the tier 2 exercises. Okay, so let's just use the close grip bench press as the example. So here we got the warm up. We got to do the base volume. Let's say I did the base volume. I did 30 reps. We go to week 2. You can see we've increased by 5 kilograms. We're now still doing 3 sets of 10. But let's say this week I did not achieve the base volume. We go to the next week. We're at 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 8, and we're still at 65 kilograms. Let's say this week I did not achieve the base volume again. I didn't do 3 sets of 8. I did 2 sets of 8, 1 set of 5. We go to the next week. Okay, we're at 3 sets of 6 now, and we're still at 65 kilograms. But let's say this week I did the base volume. Let's go to week 5. Okay, it's increased by 5 kilograms. We're at 70 now. Okay, but let's say this week I did horribly. Okay, I did just 4 reps. Let's say I did 3 reps. We go to week 6. That's when you reset. Okay, so you've achieved it. You've finished the rep schemes. You've done it. This week you would retest your close grip bench press. Now what you need to do here is really, if we did week 1, we started with 60 kilograms for 3 sets of 10. We'd probably added about 5 kilograms on, so maybe just put in 67.5 in that week. So let me go back to, where was I here? Reset and enter, not that week 6, but the next week. Enter how much weight you're going to lift. Let's just say 67.5, and that's my new weight that I will start doing 3 sets of 10 again. So I've reset the program for the close grip bench press, and I'm redoing that over again. So that's how that works for all the tier 2 exercises. Now let's go to tier 3 and talk a little bit about that. Now you have to do from 3 sets of 15 to 25. Let's say week 1 I did 3 sets of 15 for the leg extensions at 60 kilograms. We go to week 2, we're still at 60 kilograms, and the reps never change. But let's say this time around I did 26 reps, so I did more than 25. We go to week 3, we've had a 5 kilogram increment, still doing 3 sets of 15 to 25. That will remain consistent throughout the program. You do not alter or change the rep scheme. It remains consistent from day 1 all the way till you finish the program. That only applies for the tier 3 exercises, not tier 1 or tier 2. So that's just something to bear in mind. So for the tier 1 exercise, you want to take 3 to 5 minutes rest in between each set. Tier 2, 120 seconds. Tier 3, 90 seconds. Now, if you don't complete all the tier 3 exercises, that's okay. If you do 2 or 1, it's okay. Especially maybe towards the end of the program, you're going to get a little bit more fatigued towards the end of the session. You might not want to do 4 exercises anymore. That's okay. You just stop doing it. So that's the program explained. Again, as I said, I like this program. I think it's great. I think it's worth doing. I think it's a good intermediate program, probably not advanced, but intermediate program for an intermediate level lifter. It's a good program. I'll put the link below to download this from Google Spreadsheets. I'm setting up a Patreon channel. Please do sign up. It will be worth your while. I'm going to also set up a fiverr.com account where I offer private coaching, and I can design a program customized to you, for you. Okay, and if you want to get in touch with me and do some private coaching, that's fine. We can set that up and start that process. So please do check out my Instagram as well. I'm a powerlifter. I do powerlifting out here in Thailand. If you've got any questions about Thailand and you want to maybe move here or come on holiday, drop me a message. I've lived out here for 10 years. I can give you some information. If you have any programs you want me to review, comment in the messages below and I'll check them out and I'll try and get it done for you. So all in all, thank you for watching this video. Keep lifting, stay strong, have a nice day.